In this video, we're going to make the side rail for the gumball machine. There are actually two side rails on the gumball machine, but we only need to create one of them as they are both almost identical to each other. So to start the process, the first thing we're going to do is click Create New. Once we click on Create New, the new drawing always comes with a person on the drawing, and this person is put there for purposes of scale. We do not need this person in our drawing because we know the specific size that we are actually going to draw our product. So I'm going to delete the person. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get the rectangle tool from the left side of the screen. I will now click my mouse at origin. Now I am not dragging. I clicked at origin. I'm going to move my mouse up the green axis and then over the red axis, so kind of up into this quadrant of the screen. And then I'm going to simply type in the size that I want the rectangle to be. I do not have to put my cursor anywhere. I leave the cursor there. And I type 0.75, comma 2. Now, if you look down towards the bottom right-hand side of your screen, you should now see a box that says dimensions, and it will say 0.75, comma 2. When you press return, it will draw that rectangle. It is a very small rectangle, so you will hardly see it. So after you do this, trust that you've drawn it, and then hold the Shift key down and press Z. And what that does is it zooms the screen. I'm now going to get my orbit tool, and I'm going to orbit around so that I can see that in fact this rectangle is 0.75 by 2. The next thing I'm going to do is click on this tool palette over on the right side of the screen, and I'm going to select the one called Scenes. It is the fourth one from the bottom, and it looks like a movie's director cut board. So I click on Scenes, and I want to view this rectangle in top view. Top view is this center option right here. So I'm going to click on top view. I'm going to close the scenes window. And then once again, click Shift Z, which zooms out so that I can see the piece. At this point, I want to go ahead and save this drawing. I'm going to click on Save. Click on my drive. And I'm going to select the folder where I want to save this drawing, and I'm going to call it Side Rail. And I'm going to click Save here. Now this says saving, and now it says saved. So now I'm ready to move on and give this object its shape. The next tool I'm going to use is the tape measure tool. The tape measure tool can be used for various activities such as measuring things. So for example, if I click on this corner and move over, I didn't click and drag, I just clicked at the corner, took my mouse to the other corner, and that's telling me that this rectangle is in fact 3/4 of an inch wide. If I move it down to the bottom, that tells me that that is 2 inches from top to bottom, so I know that it's the right size. However, I don't want to actually click and create a guide at this point, so I just click Escape. Okay. Now, the other thing that we primarily use the tape measure for, and we actually use the tape measure more for this than measuring anything, is to create guides. Okay. So I'm going to create 3 guides. The first guide I'm going to create by clicking anywhere on this left side edge of the rectangle. So this is the left side edge of the rectangle. The only places you cannot click here are either this corner or this corner, just anywhere else on that line. So I'm going to click, again, not dragging, just click. I'm going to move my mouse to the right, and I'm going to move over until it says 1/4, and I'm going to click. And that creates a vertical guideline. So I clicked on a vertical line and created a vertical guideline. Now I'm going to click on the top edge of the rectangle. Click. I'm going to move my mouse down once again until I see 1/4, and I click. I then move to the bottom of the rectangle, click, and I move up until it says 1/4, and I click. So now this is giving me some guide points that I need to continue creating the shape that I want. Now I'm going to create 2 lines. To create lines, we use the pencil tool. So I'm going to get my pencil tool. I am going to click on this corner. So I click, move my mouse across to the other corner, and click again. And now I have a diagonal line there. Then I go to the bottom, I click at this intersection, and go down in diagonal to the other intersection, and I click. So now I have these 2 triangles created at each corner. Next thing I want to do is I am going to delete the guides. I don't need those anymore. I've used the guides for what I needed them for. So, using the display palette from the right side of the screen, which is the one that looks like a pair of glasses, I click on display, and right next to it, it says delete all guides. So I simply click that, and the guides go away. I'm going to go ahead and close that palette. Now, I'm going to get my eraser tool, and I am going to click. Now, this time I actually am going to drag. So I click and drag across those 2 lines, and it erases that corner. And then on the bottom, I click and drag across the right and the left and the bottom, and I erase those 2 lines, and I'm left with this 6-sided object. Next, I'm going to get the orbit tool. I'm going to rotate so that the bottom kind of raises up. I'm going to get my push-pull tool. I'm going to click the center, or really anywhere on the surface of the object. Single click, don't click and drag. Click, slide your mouse up, type 11, and press enter. After doing that, I press Shift Z, which again zooms, extends, and I should have an object that looks like that. And at this point, I'm going to save the piece. That is it for this video. At this point, if you are ready, you can move on to the video titled Siderail 2.